My name is Isabella Grant. I'm 29 years old, and for most of my life, I believed family meant safety. I believed it right up until the night everything unraveled. It was a Friday in late autumn. I was driving back from a freelance design job, the highway slick with sleet, when headlights cut across the lane. Brakes screamed, metal twisted, and my world went dark. I woke in a hospital room that smelled of antiseptic and humming machines. A nurse explained I had a fractured collarbone and a mild heart arrhythmia from the impact. When I asked if my family had been called, she hesitated. They said, "They're too busy to come," she finally admitted. Too busy. The words stung worse than the IV in my arm. I reached for my phone with shaking fingers, hoping for a message. Instead, I found my younger sister Chloe's Instagram story. A smiling dinner photo with my parents, captioned, "Family night, no drama allowed," tagged with my handle like a punchline. I stared at the screen, disbelief giving way to a hollow ache. I had given up so much for them, my dream career, my savings, and this was their response. 3 years earlier, I'd been on the edge of something incredible. Fresh out of a top animation program in New York, I'd been offered a six-figure contract to join a creative studio in San Francisco. It was everything I'd worked for until my parents called in panic. The Grant Family Bakery in Denver, a business my grandparents had built from scratch, was drowning in debt. Suppliers threatened lawsuits. Employees hadn't been paid in weeks. "We can't lose the bakery," my mother pleaded. "We need you." Against every instinct, I turned down the San Francisco contract. I packed my life into two suitcases and moved back to Denver. I poured my savings into back rent and unpaid bills, spent endless nights negotiating with suppliers, rebranding menus, and designing marketing campaigns to pull us back from the brink. I thought my sacrifice meant something. But my parents handed day to day control to Chloe, who treated the bakery like a stage for her influencer lifestyle. She arrived late, live streamed meetings, and used bakery funds for content trips to Aspen. Whenever I questioned her, Dad waved me off. "Chloe has vision. You're good with the behind the scenes stuff." Mom barely looked up from her phone. I swallowed my frustration and kept working, convinced that loyalty would eventually earn respect. Instead, Chloe drained the accounts on luxury handbags and sponsored brunches while I scrambled to keep suppliers paid. Grandpa Walt once warned me over coffee, "They'll keep taking until you've got nothing left." I brushed him off. I wanted to believe family wouldn't do that. The accident made denial impossible. Lying in that hospital bed, ribs aching, I realized they hadn't just neglected me, they'd erased me. Grandpa was the only one who showed up. He walked in wearing his old leather jacket, eyes sharp beneath his silver brows. "I've seen this before," he said quietly, gripping my hand. "They did the same to me when I started this bakery. Don't let them bleed you dry." His words snapped something inside me. With Grandpa by my side, I opened the bakery's financial records from my hospital laptop. The numbers were worse than I imagined. Chloe had funneled thousands into personal expenses, while Mom and Dad signed every check. I called my bank and froze the investment account I'd created for the bakery. I emailed the landlord, revoking my co-sign on the bakery lease. Then, with Grandpa's lawyer on speakerphone, I drafted documents to remove my name from every loan that tied me to their debt. The fallout was swift. Suppliers stopped deliveries when payments bounced. The landlord posted an eviction notice. Chloe's Aspen weekends dried up overnight. My parents called nonstop, their voices shifting from pleading to furious. "You're ruining the family legacy," Dad shouted. Mom tried softer tactics. "Sweetheart, Chloe's just young. Help us fix this." I ended each call with the same calm words. "I'm done." Chloe retaliated, with a shaky TikTok video accusing me of sabotage. But Grandpa and a few loyal former employees shared proof of her spending: receipts, bounced checks, unpaid invoices. The community turned on her faster than she could refresh her feed. While the bakery collapsed, my life finally began. Grandpa transferred his remaining shares in the property to me, quietly rewriting his will to cut my parents and sister out. I used the modest payout from selling the bakery's assets to launch a small animation studio with my best friend Lena, a coder I'd met in college. We started in a rented loft overlooking the Rockies, building eco friendly ad campaigns for local businesses. Every project felt like breathing again. I blocked my parents and Chloe on every platform. No more guilt laden texts, no more frantic voicemails. Denver's winter air felt cleaner without their demands. Grandpa visited often, bringing coffee and stories. You chose yourself, he said one morning as we watched the sunrise over the snow capped peaks. That's real family. People who lift you, not drain you. For years, I thought love meant sacrifice. Now I know the truth. Love doesn't chain you to people who only take, it gives you the freedom to grow. I'm building a future on my own terms, and I've never felt more alive.